If we want to walk in those shoes, we have to be willing to risk something.
Let's assume then that the moral center that you've described, as you say, there's many moral centers, but that there is a large component of people who maintain and adhere to that moral center, the moral center that ultimately wants to live in what we have defined as a free and liberal society post World War II and bring that to their cherished homeland, to Israel, and that they care about, that they want to that they want the best for. What risks do you think Jews must take now in order to live in accordance with that moral center, even if it means stepping outside the security paradigms that dominate Israeli and diaspora politics?
Right. So I guess I would answer it in a couple of ways. I think that the view that I hold, which is that wherever Israeli Jews and Palestinians live alongside one another, they should be equal under the law, is considered to many Jews as an incredibly risky and even reckless thing to advocate. That it puts Jews at grave risk, right? I fundamentally disagree with that. I fundamentally believe that Jews are safer living alongside Palestinians who have a voice in government than living alongside Palestinians who are locked out of government. Because and I think political science literature bears this out, when you are locked out of government, when you have no means of petitioning government by having the vote, by having citizenship, it's in those conditions people are more likely to take up arms against the state. And that's why I think Palestinian citizens of Israel are less likely to commit acts of violence than Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza. Now, if you believe that, as I do, then I think the impetus for Jews in the United States and Canada is to be willing to risk some degree of social opprobrium within our communities, and even some potentially professional costs in order to stand up for the principles that we believe in, recognizing that that many of the people that we admire in other moments and times in history were people who were willing to pay some kind of price for standing up for their beliefs. I like to remind people that Abraham Joshua Heschel, who is now revered in the United States among American Jews for having marched in Selma, that when he came to the South, he was met by a group of Southern rabbis who said to him, "You live in New York. You don't know what it's actually like to be a Jew here. You are putting us at risk." When he advocated against the Vietnam War, that was a very unpopular position among many, many rabbis in the United States at that time. And so I think we have to be willing, if we want to walk in those shoes, we have to be willing to risk something.